for taking time out of your day for what's kind of an experimental workshop. This isn't my normal workshop, so I'm not in my element. But I'm really hoping we can work hard today and really work together. I'm going to do some talking, but we're going to do a lot of talking together because I think that's really how we move out this agenda. And I do want to underline what Linda said about Detroit. I started coming to Detroit many years ago with an organization, of course, whose name is now escapes me. It was run by a woman named Marge Bertsey. Some of you may have known her. She was an activist, and she worked a lot with young people. And I just remember being really struck from the first few times I came here, and every single time I come here. And of course now it's so beautiful with everything blooming and everything. So sort of how Detroit actually really has a sense of there's so much possibility here, and I think that's why people stay here. I mean, it would be easy enough to leave and go find a job somewhere else. There's a lot of problems here, but there's really this like vibrancy, and there's always a lot of great social justice work going on here. So I think when you live in a place, you don't always necessarily you can see a lot of the problems, but from the outside, I'd say it's just an amazing place. And was really eager to try, and I think Linda and Marissa were really eager to see what would happen if we really kind of thought about how can we apply commons-based thinking to the issues that are challenging Detroit, because the other kind of thinking, it would appear by and large, is not working. If we might be able to say that market-based thinking isn't doing so well. So
you weren't supposed to know that.
No, I was supposed to. I may have read that. Yeah. Anyway, what I want to do is I want to start with just a little introduction to what I mean by the commons, not I personally, but by what people often mean when they say commons, and to say that there isn't a rigid definition of it. The commons is also not an ideology as much as a kind of a way of thinking in which a lot of other ideologies can fit in. So I remember one of the people when we were first doing this who really would describe herself probably pretty much as kind of a socialist, that she said, I just I don't see the advantage. I said, well, you could continue to be a socialist. You don't have to, we're not going to at the end sign up and, and say the secret word. But it's just a way of thinking about things. I also found it to be really a way of involving a lot of people in a conversation. People that had very well thought through and strict political ideologies that they'd spent years and years perfecting, and they'd read all kinds of political tracts from people that hadn't really thought about it all, from people that vote in every single election, are very active in party politics and stuff, from people that maybe had never voted. It was a place where we could all come and we could actually hear each other and have respect for each other's opinions and see if we could move something out. And the main requirement was kind of probably a willingness and a wanting to make our communities better places. So that was kind of a general thing. So I want to start with just a little conversation about that, and then we're going to kind of look at what are some really pressing social problems that we have in the United States and here in Detroit, and we're going to kind of get into groups and figure out how could we use a commons frame, which I will kind of have outlined for you with your help. How can we use a commons frame to start solving those problems, and how would those solutions look different, and how would they be the same as some of the other frameworks that we have? Then we'll have lunch. After lunch, people are going to present some of the work that they're doing, because I know a lot of you are doing work that's very specifically related, and we'll look at really specifically in Detroit what are and here in southeastern Michigan, what can commons-based thinking help us do? How does it help you in your own organization? I also want to talk a little bit about nonprofits in the commons, and then we'll kind of figure out maybe what next steps are going to be if people want to take next steps. So I thought it might be fun to just start the conversation with just a quick go-around, now that everybody said their name and everything, with a quick go-around to kind of think about what is your favorite part of the commons? What's your favorite part of the commons? And for those of you who, now some of you have been in these workshops with Linda, so you're more familiar with what we mean by that, but for those of you who are not, let's just kind of define it right now in its most general sense of kind of public space. Stuff that's available to the public for free, that you can kind of access for free. What's your favorite part? What's your favorite part of that? And I'll start myself to just kind of give you an idea. I think my favorite part of the commons, especially this time of year, is our public parks. Okay? Or any kind of open space that has. And yesterday, Linda and I were going to buy some flowers because we thought it'd be fun to have some flowers at the workshop, but all the flowers at the supermarket were kind of decrepit looking. So I said, there's so much vacant space around here, and it's got stuff blooming. Let's just take some from the commons. So that's what we did. Our little droopy bouquet. No, not that. more, these slightly more
More
common looking, right?
Beautiful. I like them.
These very beautiful flowers, I do want to say, as Linda didn't say about herself, are sent by the Building Movement Project team to Linda because today is not only Earth Day, but it's her birthday. And she's a true mensch for giving up her birthday to do this workshop. It's great. So anyway, so mine is parks or kind of open space that anyone could walk in. That's probably the thing that I enjoy most, and when I'm in my free time, I'm always outside often in that common space. So anybody else want to start? Say, we don't have to go around in a circle, but what's your favorite public thing?
As soon as you said it, I thought of the incredible joy I feel going to public libraries.
Okay, libraries. Public libraries where all knowledge is there. You kind of have that, you just read it all.
Free, and there's just a delight, at least if they're not decrepit. But most of them, even when they have limited budgets, the people who run them are so committed to them.
Yes. Okay, libraries, an excellent example of common. Somebody else? Lottie.
My favorite is information. Just the availability of all this information that's out here. Just I can find basically whatever I want to know anything about, basically just at the text or touch of a button. So my favorite common thing is information.
Information, and so kind of through the internet and some of the media that have really made it possible for people to have information just coming straight into their own homes. Very good.
I enjoy going to the beach.
To the beach.
And the fact that we have the Great Lakes here, I'm intimidated by water, but I love water. So my favorite would be our waterway.
Okay, waterways and beach, yeah. Somebody else?
Got the people.
What?
The diversity in the people.
Diversity of people. So maybe even kind of just walking down the sidewalk and thinking, wow, I live in an amazing place. Something else. Yeah.
The democratization of the public voice. I just enjoy it when people are allowed to speak out and feel like they really have that.
Okay, so democratization of the public voice. And all the times when that really, really works. You can call in radio shows or write letters to the editor or post a blog or just put out your opinion and think it's going to be heard.
Bring community groups together to create that common space.
Excellent.
I think about public utilities, especially public lighting, which we just take for granted, unless it's not on. Then we know. But it's under threat now to be, quote, privatized. I think it's kind of a dumb idea that you sell off the public lighting to a private company and then buy it back and buy the services from them and be at their mercy.
Yeah, exactly. And this is one thing we're going to talk about a lot today is how a lot of times things that are in the commons we don't even notice. We notice them by their absence. And what all of us have to become much more conscious of is knowing them by their presence so that we protect them. That's a really good example. Someone else, yes?
Playscapes. I look for playscapes on school property to take my grandchildren to play.
Okay.
So that's my fun thing to do.
Playscapes, yeah, playgrounds and all that kind of stuff. That's great. Schools, okay? Public
and
schools.
Water. Even more than lighting for me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm roads, but I'm just got a bicycle, and so I'm going to be seeing the roads up closer than I have when I was driving, when I'm in my car. Yeah.
Okay, so roads, yeah. And of course you'll become a big fan of bike paths.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say my favorite is nature's ecosystems.
Nature's ecosystems, okay. And where do you most see those? Just everywhere? Or?
Well, when they haven't been, I try to find them everywhere, but they're not everywhere. But, out in parks and preserved places and my backyard.
Great, yeah. A couple more.
Belle Isle.
What?
Belle Isle.
Okay.
A public park on the Detroit River.